That's What He Said with Cedric D. Sanders.
100% real, raw, and uncut. Deadass.
Hello, my name is Cedric, and along with my beautiful wife, Connie, we'll be hosting my brand new podcast, That's What I Said. I'm a retired Navy veteran that suffers from PTSD and anxiety, and we'll discuss how I cope with the mental illness through comedy and discussion. It's a podcast that will talk about everything from cryptocurrency to comedy. If we're worrying about the dollar going up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's still a dollar, guess what? The value of that means absolutely nothing. Cryptocurrency in itself is the future of money. From spirituality to cannabis. To have cannabis on the Schedule 1 list is bullshit. I'm sorry, it is. It makes absolutely no sense. If it's a seed that can be planted and it has healing properties in it, why the hell is it in Schedule 1? Last time I checked, cocaine don't have healing property in it. From interracial relationships, I don't have a problem with people talking about interracial relationships. People try to talk bad about my interracial relationship just to think that they can get under my skin. I mean, really, it don't bother me. I mean, let's not make, call a spade a spade. But if you have a problem with someone that's in love, it shouldn't matter the race of the person. It's a mental illness in our community. The problem is people want to put labels on it. Everybody wants to put color on everything. And as soon as you put color on it, it gets treated differently. The money gets treated funny. Because if it's dealing with Asians, guess what? It's going to take a longer process unless those leaders step up and get into the president's face or U.S. leaders' face and say, this is a problem in our community. Not leaving one topic unturned. If you want to hear real, authentic conversation, interviews, and comedy, please take time to listen to That's What I Said, because I said what I said.
Giving you 100% authentic, real, raw, unapologetic truth with no filter. Listen to That's What I Said. Available on your favorite podcast platform.
Cedric D. Sanders.
They probably just eat ass with a baby spoon. That's what he said. That's what he said. Yeah, yeah. 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 That's what he said. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's what he said. That ain't my fault. That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said. That ain't my fault. I'm just gonna lay it down like this though. That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said. When I say my shit, I'ma repeat my shit. I'ma make sure you understand the foundation of everything where I'm coming from. Don't get it twisted. That ain't my fault. That's what he said. That's what I said. What? That's what I said. That's what I said. That's what I said. Wow. We gon' do it like that. Yeah. Yeah. They probably just eat ass with a baby spoon.
Welcome to another episode of That's What I Said with your host, Cedric Sanders. Giving you 100% authentic, real, raw, unapologetic truth with no filter. The broadcast starts now.
about time to take off, y'all. It's Saturday, not Friday. We had to change the days on y'all. But y'all, I know y'all ready. I know y'all ready. What'd you say over there?
I said just gotta switch it up a little bit.
Gotta switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Y'all know what time it is. That's what I said on a Saturday night. New time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Y'all know me, I'm black, so I gotta go on my time. So it's about a little bit. Quarter till 9. But what's good, everybody? Hope everybody's enjoying their weekend, enjoying their time with their family, or if you by yourself, you're enjoying your time by yourself. Watch TV or whatever it is you do on a Saturday evening. But I felt like I needed to organize my shit in a better way. I had a conversation, of course, with my co-host, my wife, Miss Connie Hunter Sanders. What's good, baby? How you doing?
I'm good. What's up, babe?
Have to, let the people know what's going on, because I didn't want them to think we didn't fell off the map.
Nah,
or
we
whatever.
ain't off the map. We here.
I'm gonna say this, as this music is riding with us right now, because this is a tight ass beat. So last week I took off, and it was because I needed a reset. And my resets don't last long. And the reason why they don't last long is because I actually am committed to doing this shit. I want to keep doing this shit. This ain't something that I just want to, do temporarily. I keep wanting to do it. I keep wanting to do this because, people have these conspiracy theories about some of the weirdest shit.
Yeah.
And I have to, at some point in my life, end that conspiracy theory. I don't want people to feel like, they have to, I don't know, in lack of better terms, have a ill feeling about me because I'm not doing something they like, or I'm not doing something that they approve of, or whatever the case may be. So tonight, we're going to set the record straight on this podcast. We setting a tone. We changing it up. And peace and love to my sis, Lisa Vine, is in the building. What's good? But I had to bring it back a notch. And really kind of like, what is going to allow us to be gangster in these podcast streets? Throw my gangster shades on real quick. What is going to keep us gangster in these?
So done with you right now.
I'm just saying, what is going to keep us gangster in these podcast streets? And what I mean by gangster is what's going to allow us to be the best versions of who we are to everybody that loves and like listening to us. And now that we're on the Saturday night, I think that's a better night because we in a more an adult environment. Not that Friday night wasn't an adult environment. I just felt, Saturday, after discussing it with my wife, my business partner, because this is a business, at some point we will get the money to make this an LLC and start doing T-shirts and gum wrappers and shit.
Get the merch.
Yeah, we gotta get the
Really,
merch.
nigga?
Yeah, candy wrappers. Got candy wrappers.
Candy wrappers.
I have some mixed feelings about this trending trash or anything that's trending right now because
go on ahead, babe.
God damn. That's what's up. That's what's up, sis. I'm glad you're good. I have to go in this direction.
And I really don't want to have this discussion, but I have to have this discussion. So, first off, before I have this discussion, let me write this down so I don't forget. But we're going to start a new segment. So the new segment is going to talk about the hashtags. Every time I do a podcast, I have to put tags to start the podcast. So I'm going to announce those tags every episode of the podcast that I do. Every episode. And this episode ain't no different. Because this is going to give you a head start of the bullshit that's going to be coming out of my mouth of what I'm going to talk about.
Lord.
So, tonight's tags, I gotta have some music with that. I gotta have something that's going to really kind of just make this a real shit like thing. Because I'm going to do this every podcast. So I'm going to promise y'all next week I'm going to have music for this. Tags. And it's going to have some kind of music behind it. Something crazy. It don't matter. So here we go. Tags. That's what I said. All one word. That's what I said. Mental health. All one word. Capital M and a capital H. Mental health. Comedy. Relationships. Live podcast. Live, all capitals. Podcast, capital P. All right. The reason why I do tags is because people don't have an excuse. And I'm telling y'all, I'm not going to tell you this every podcast, but I'm telling you this in this podcast because we're starting a new season. So I have to do this because next week's podcast is going to be the prelude of Valentine's. And that podcast is going to have information in it that should help people when it comes to Valentine's Day. Not that people celebrate it, but it's an awareness thing for me. So, what do you think, babe? What?
I think Valentine's Day is an overpriced holiday. And I mean, it should be celebrated all year long.
Right.
You know, when you're in a relationship with someone, not just for one specific day.
Yeah, I mean, okay,
And
yeah.
you know how I do.
We gonna
I
have
celebrate you
okay,
all
but
year long.
Okay,
So-
yeah. We're not gonna go there because we're gonna save it for next week. So next week's podcast, and I'm gonna say it at the end of the podcast, of course, but I'm telling y'all right now, next week's podcast is going to be about Valentine's Day, and it's not gonna be just like, oh, glory, we need to think about. No, it's not gonna be none of that shit. What it's gonna be about? Hold on, let me rewind that. Okay, so what it's going to be about is Valentine's Day and how we as people should really just not focus on what they want to put on the calendar for us. And I'm going to get deeper into that tonight. Matter of fact, what I was going to discuss before is going to come up then. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into our trending topics before I get into this bigger topic and then the main topic. And the topic tonight, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm just all over the place, ain't I? Tonight's topic is the confirmation you are seeking is your own. The confirmation you are seeking is your own. But they dry hating. Remember that. But they dry hating. Remember that. So that's the topic tonight on the podcast. But
Better
as
hit
we
the
do,
emphasis on that last part again.
yeah. They dry hating. They dry hating.
Oh, hey.
Remember that.
The whole hater club.
So we're going to get into it. So as we always do, the trending topics. What's good, Miss Connie? What's good? What's good?
So this month is Black History Month.
Oh Lord, here we go. You want me to go ahead and talk about it right now? Okay.
I do. Because I don't think that y'all should have just a month.
That's your
let
opinion.
alone being the shortest month of the year.
That's your opinion. Okay.
It is. It's true.
And I get that, babe. I get that.
But at any rate, yeah.
So I'm not going to discuss this until we get done with trending topics, because this is about a 5-minute speech that I wrote in my brain. So I'm not going to talk about it right now because of the flow of the podcast. You know how we do. What is the bullshit with the bullshit that's going on? That you know how we do when we talk about trending topics. It's like, the fuck.
So tell me why anybody, whether you are a public known person or not, why would you go on social media, number one, number two, and talk about something that you did on a television broadcast?
What are you talking about?
Oh, why did Lamar Odom go on social media and talk about he shit the bed on the new series of Big Brother? This fool done went and ate some snacks in the middle of the night, done shit the bed, and then went on social media and talked about it. Bruh. Don't nobody want to hear about that.
Okay, first off,
come on.
I mean,
really, nigga?
So okay.
Like,
see,
yo.
when they had Celebrity Big Brother, I knew it was going to be a problem. I knew it was going to be a bigger problem.
Oh, problem.
I knew it was going to be a bigger problem when they said Lamar Odom was on it this season. Now, Lamar Odom, I think, is cool as shit. But something that the world, I think, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I think the world knows this. Hold on. I got to put my gangster glasses on for my Facebook people, because this is about to be gangster. Let me. Okay, so anyway.
You so stupid. You stupid.
Y'all should have known how he was going to be when he was on the Kardashians, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's take that mental note. We know how it was when he was on the Kardashians, when he was on that reality show, because he was with Khloe. Mm-hmm. Now, what transpired after that and what it is today is completely different. Lamar Odom's been through some shit.
Yeah, truthfully.
Now, the gangster shit I'm about to say is what I'm about to say right now, and this is just my opinion. That Kardashian pussy has got him fucked up.
Oh my goodness.
Because we would have never seen Lamar Odom go through the shit he's going through right now on reality TV, on Celebrity Big Brother, and shit in the bed. I'm sorry. That's just that. I'm sorry.
I got nothing.
I mean,
dude, why would you talk about that mess on social media, yo?
I mean,
like, come on. You should have kept that mess to yourself,
baby. I mean, that's like, I always say, I wish I was a fly on the wall.
Ooh, not for that one.
But for this one, I wish I was the fly that was stuck like in the bathroom. And I heard that shit, but there was walls in between me to not punch somebody and be like, what the fuck did I just hear? No, you couldn't hear me because I'm in the bathroom. Exactly. I'm like a baby fart that nobody is ever going to hear. This a baby fart.
I am done. Yeah.
I'm an asshole. So anyway,
Hit the button.
oh, and I'm gonna tell y'all what bourbon I'm drinking every Saturday night. The bourbon I'm drinking tonight is I don't fucking know. I don't remember. It has escaped me.
Is it?
I don't know.
Is it the?
It's rye.
Is it the one with the arrow?
No,
Or
it's not
the-
that one.
the
It's
key?
it's the one with the green label. It's a rye. It's a Kentucky bourbon and it's rye.
Bullet.
I don't know, babe. Let's not get dead up on it because we will have a mental breakdown trying to figure out what bourbon I'm drinking tonight.
Yep, and I'll leave the podcast to go find out.
Exactly. And we don't need to see that because they're going to see you walk through on Facebook to go downstairs, and we're not going to do that. So, anyway, I promise y'all next week, because next week is actually going to start a new season. And I'm telling y'all, season 3
About to be off the chain.
is about to be off the chain.
Just facts.
I'm just letting y'all know. Y'all Saturday nights is going to be really, really fucking cool. Like that ass. And I have some news to announce, but I'm not going to announce the news to the end. And Connie has to remind me because she knows what that news is because she has to travel with me. So we'll talk about that news in a little bit. Right?
Right.
So as I'm sitting here marinating in this conversation that we're having about trending topics,
Yeah.
give me one more trending topic that we can discuss so that we can get into the discussion on Black history that I need to talk about.
You know your boy Kanye back in the news again.
I need to get a soundbite for Ye. Like, I'm not even bullshitting.
Yeah, we really do because it just seems like since his split from Kim, this man has been just plastering all over social media.
Bitch,
But
what?
It's
the Kardashian pussy. I'm telling you.
like they all are just
Stop.
gone out of it. Like, yo.
Stop it.
Anywho, he's irritated with Kim because his daughter North has a TikTok account on her phone.
Oh, Lord.
But the account is not only run by North, but the account is run by and shared by Kim. And Ye apparently seen some things on the TikTok from the daughter or what have you, and he was heated.
All right. So, okay. Heated. I'm going to sum this up.
She's only 9.
Right. I'ma sum this
Why does
up.
she have a TikTok? She's 9.
Let me check it. I'm going to sum this up. I'm going to really sum this up.
Hit it.
This is what happens when we have allowed social media to be our parents.
Oops. I'm sorry. Did you just say that? What? You said the social media has become the parent?
Social media has become the parents. The cell phone itself has become more of a
The babysitter.
well, yes, you could say the babysitter, or you could say the controlling object of the relationship that we all have, that we call parenting. But this is the problem.
Yeah.
We always bitch about how messed up situations are. And I know this is a real alert, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it for Facebook. It's a real alert. This has become a situation where people can't have an excuse for saying they are just bad at parenting.
True. Very true.
You can't say you're a parent if you give your child a phone and don't ask them how school was. What is your homework? How are you doing in gym?
Shoot, how you doing in school, period?
What is social studies like? I mean, these are questions you should ask because you know the classes your child has.
Right. Ask them one thing they learned in each class.
That's even if you got your child in school.
Well,
now, if you homeschooling your child, if you are homeschooling your child and your education level is nothing higher than annihilator, we need to have a conversation. Because we can't get into this conscious thought process that black people have and be like, man, I done read like 47 books, nigga, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, they all against us and shit. And we need to just, you know, do what we need to do as people and be righteous because, man, it's a plan. You know, they trying to, man, you know, they trying to get inside our head right now. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even think it's just the black community, babe.
No, shut up.
It's
shut up.
No, for real. Because
okay. You know what? I can agree with you on this shit because
with the homeschooling,
people have gotten into this thought process that everybody's against them. We're gonna live in the woods and become these nomads. And if people don't know what a nomad is, it's a person that moves from one dwelling to another dwelling. And no dwelling is this main dwelling. That's what a nomad is. A nomad doesn't have a dwelling. They are constantly moving to dwelling to dwelling. And if people don't know what a dwelling is, that is a secure residence that we call a home.
It's a house.
It's a house. It's a home.
Shack.
Okay, so a nomad is a person that moves from from different, you know, locations or whatever, makes a home for a couple of weeks or a month or whatever, 2 months, and then they leave and go somewhere else and make somewhere else a home for 2 or 3 months. They're never somewhere permanent. These nomadic motherfuckers that we got going on in our lives right now have no reason to be rich. Kanye is a petty asshole. Why would you buy a house that is literally
across the street or next door or whatever the hell
from your soon-to-be ex-wife? So it's probably fucking the ankle shit out of Pete Davidson.
Boy, hush.
I'm sorry.
He doing that to be petty, and he's saying it's about the kids so that the kids are in close proximity, blah, blah, blah.
I'm sorry.
Whatever, yeah.
It was never about the kids.
No.
It was never about the kids.
You a spying ass on
If you
Kim.
wanted your wife, you would have fought for her months ago. Years ago. Okay? You went on this dumbass tyrant trash trant that you went on that made no sense to nobody. I'm sorry. I'm not going into it. What's going on? What else is in trending topics that we need to talk about before I go into this other shit?
I don't think anything tops those two clowns right now.
You're right. Okay. So
I'm just
let
being real.
me pull the clown hat at because that was clown hour. So I'm going to go in a direction. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm kind of offended right now. I don't eat ass with a baby spoon. I don't.
Bruh.
I don't. I'm mad.
You eat ass with a baby spoon.
That was even a part of the conversation right now. So the conversation that we're going to have right now is about Black history, something that I wanted to talk about before and kind of hinted towards it. But the reason why I didn't want to talk about it till now is because it's a conversation that I've been wanting to have so people can understand where I come from, because I'm proud to be Black. I'm proud to be a Black American. The problem is I'm proud to be Black. The American part is really kind of fucking me up right now. This is why. I'm going to play all these little bullshit.
Go on ahead, babe. Uh-oh.
So what I don't understand is that black people, African Americans, if you will, but black people, us niggers, we were born here. Some of us were police officers, military, work in the hospital, doctors, nurses, served our country because this is something we wanted to do. Doesn't matter if you're a cashier or a boutonniere. They don't give a fuck about you. I'm going to tell you why. If Black History Month is a month where we're supposed to celebrate the history of black people, why the fuck is it not only just in the shortest month of the year of all the months in the year, but why do we even have a Black History Month if we're considered African Americans? If people want to know what African Americans about, the fact that we're Americans shouldn't rely on 1 month of the year. It shouldn't just go to that 1 month of the year. Shouldn't it be like something that is taught all year round?
Absolutely.
I mean, being the fact that I ain't got to sit in the back of the fucking bus should tell you that it should be something that we talk about all year round, right?
True.
Just throwing it out there. Not trying to be an asshole, but I'm throwing it out there. So this is the asshole moment. If we have constant conversations about why Black History Month is what it is, it's the safe spot. Fuck. I'm a black man and I said it's a safe spot. Wow. And everybody's like, oh, you're married to a white woman, so you don't know our struggle. You can eat a dick. I've been a black dude all my life, motherfucker. My mom is black. Matter of fact, me and my wife bought a house and moved her here. My brother lives 2.5 hours away. You know why? Because all you motherfuckers that think I'm soft, I'm really not. I'm strategic. Strategic.
Yeah, there was a lot of strategy into our plan and how we moved and where we moved when we moved. Period.
I moved in the middle of the pandemic, cross country, from Washington State to Virginia.
Sure did.
Cross country during a major pandemic where people were actually passing away and fucking dying of COVID. Okay?
And that was more or less like at the real beginning of it all when we left.
Let me tell you some of the racist shit that we went through.
Ooh. Yeah,
okay?
we went through some shit.
And this is the reason why I'm talking about this is because Black History Month ain't shit to me. I celebrate my heritage all year round. I started this podcast because of my heritage. We leave Washington State to go to Virginia because Connie has a job that is going to pay her basically what she should be getting paid for what she does. But that's another conversation.
Absolutely.
She gets to the destination, but en route to the destination, we made some stops. Key stops.
Absolutely. Key stops. The parental units.
We stopped in the KC of the MO. Saw some family and friends. More friends than family and friends. And they actually live not too far from here. But we had an opportunity to actually do what we wanted to do for years and still going to do in the next couple of years, which is rent an RV and travel the world. But we didn't have an RV. We had a truck.
Loaded down with all our shit.
Yeah,
and a
loaded.
dog.
Yeah, it was completely loaded down. The whole back of the truck was loaded down. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But what we learned from that experience and what I'm bringing to this conversation is we touched the upper third, or I should say upper eighth, because we didn't go through a lot of states, but we touched the upper eighth of the United States.
Yeah.
And I can honestly tell you that upper eighth is racist as fuck. Because no matter where we were, where we drove,
Well, the looks we got.
the looks, the conversation, and everything. And I would tell Connie, I told her before we left, this is my mindset. But the reason why my mindset is this is because I drove from Ohio to up here. So I know what to expect, at least from Washington to Midwest. Past that, it's going to get worse because it's the East Coast. The closer you get to DC, the more racist people are, but the more black people there is. How the fuck does that make sense?
I was just about to say that part just doesn't even make sense.
I mean, the best black people I have ever met in my life is over here on the East Coast. I'm not gonna lie.
True.
And there's a whole conglomerate of black people on the West Coast that I know that's off the chain.
True.
But what I don't understand is this. Why the fuck do we still have a month when we're not recognized throughout the U.S.? I'll let that marinate. I'm not going to sit there and have you sit there and think about what I just said. But I'm not going to even let that marinate. We're going to move on because I'm going to tell you right now, y'all should already know what I feel about Black History Month. Is there a Jewish Heritage Month? Like, is there a Jewish Heritage Month?
Not that I'm aware of.
There's Cinco de Mayo. They give the Mexicans one day, but they won't let these motherfuckers in. Let's move on. That's bullshit. Asian Pacific Islanders Day.
No, they get a whole month.
Okay, month. I'm sorry. Asian Pacific and Islanders month. They get a whole month.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened in 1941? Didn't they bomb Pearl Harbor?
Yeah.
The Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. Not the white people was taking over fucking America and shit and taking over the Indians and giving reparations.
December 7th, 1941.
December 7th, 1941. I'm gonna say this before I talk about December 7th, 1941. And my sis Lisa Vaughn, I have to say this because her comments sparked this. Mm-hmm. I usually vibe well with East Coast people. She from the Midwest, y'all, just like I am. And I vibe more with the East Coast people than I do with West Coast people. And the reason why is because West Coast people are comfortable in wherever they're at. Not because of the situation, just where they're at. And that's cool. People on the East Coast can voice. They will voice how fucked up shit is.
Yeah, because they're closer to DC and they can take it there.
And when they take it there,
the protesting and all that stuff
exactly
is off the charts. Just, I mean,
most of your people that's on the East Coast are strong as fuck. Most of your people from the Midwest are strong as fuck. People on the West Coast, it's strong, but you ain't dealt with the shit that we had to deal with. And if you because you moved to the West Coast, that's because you moved to the West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, I lived on the West Coast from shit.
I'm gonna give you a history lesson.
93 all the way till
I'm gonna give you a history lesson.
I just left there a couple years ago.
You know why black people feel more cooler on the West Coast? Because slaves was brought in on the East Coast.
But
hold on. Let that marinate for a second. Let that marinate. Let that marinate. Let that marinate. Slaves was brought in on the East Coast. I took you there. How the fuck do you think niggas is going to get to the West Coast? Jobs or boat, right?
Yeah.
Where are the most successful black people at right now? Not taking anything away from the East Coast because some successful niggas in the East Coast.
LA.
But they in fucking LA, right?
The majority. Well, the majority.
Where the fuck did you meet me at? Let me be real. Where did you meet me at?
Cali.
And where?
In
Cali, right?
In that little pit.
In Cali. Yeah, it was a pit. Real talk. We're gonna have to do a podcast about how we met, like dead ass.
Yeah.
But it was in Cali, right? Mm-hmm. So if slaves were brought in to the East Coast, this is what I'm telling y'all. I don't fuck with Black History Month because it's like y'all motherfuckers is like really fucking with black people. Black people were brought in to 2 states. South Carolina. And where's the other state, baby? Do you know? New York. There was the only 2 ports where niggas was brought in. And they were auctioned off. When we let us free, got the fuck up out of there. Mm-mm. Most black people, when they were bought, they was in the South. When they're liberated, they went north. They didn't go west. They went north. They went to Canada. Let me do the math for you. If they went north, what do you fuck you think happened? North is Canada, right? It's cold as fuck up there.
Hell yeah.
Niggas is like, man, you got me fucked up. I'm going west, bro. I'm going where it's warm. They didn't know it was warm over there. They just went west because that's the only direction they went.
So I guess my problem with things is the racism piece. It drives me batshit crazy. You know this.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating for me as a white woman who's married to a black man, and we are in the year 2022. The whole damn United States that we live in is a melting pot of ethnic background and diversity. Why the hell do we still have racism? And it's not just racism against white and black. It's racism against everyone. It drives me freaking nuts. I can't stand it. We've dealt with it for the entire time that we have been in a relationship, and it sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, we dealt with it on the West Coast, and we dealt with it over here on the East Coast. We haven't dealt with it much lately, but we've still dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just... I'm
going to be honest with you. I think this is the problem. And it's not just... We're talking about just as... Like, we don't want to talk about it kind of thing. It is.
Right.
People will come up with their own conspiracy theory as to what they believe is going on in someone's relationship, especially a black man with a white woman or a white woman with a black man. A lot of people don't talk about the white man with the black woman.
Yeah.
They talk about the black man with the white woman. I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't no fucking conspiracy. It's not because it's for entertainment for everyone to sit around there and think that that's what it is.
Right.
There's not a fucking conspiracy. It's not because it's easy. It's not because it's less work. That's not what it is.
No. You're attracted to who you are attracted
You are attracted to who you are attracted to.
And
it has absolutely nothing to do with the fucking color of the skin.
Exactly.
For me, it had everything to do with, like, when me and Connie first met, it had everything to do with the fact of everyone's mind. It had nothing to do with like where the fuck you wanted to be in life. It had to do with that person's mind. That person is intelligent. I'm a sapiosexual. I didn't realize that until like I was in the 90s, and like I was like, the fuck? Sapiosexual is somebody that is really intrigued and really turned on to someone's smart mind. I was more turned on about the smart mind that Connie had than anything else. It had absolutely nothing to do with, okay, never mind. I'm going to talk about physical, but that's not the point. So
you're an asshole.
It's pointless. I mean, yeah, she got big titties, but that's not the point. That's not the point. I'm attracted by ass. She had to sit here and listen to me talk about Janet Jackson. I love me some Janet Jackson.
That's your fantasy wife.
She ain't got big titties, but you know what she got?
She got the big old booty.
Thank you. So that ain't the point. The point is this.
Yeah, likes the junk in the trunk.
The point is this. It's not about color. People associate themselves with color because that's what they are comfortable with. And that's what they like.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
My first wife was black because that's what I like. Women. Ain't got shit to do with color. I have a beautiful wife.
Thank you, baby.
I love beautiful women. That's not going to change the fact that you're going to sit around here and make it a physical connection because you're attracted to black ass. Nigga, ass is ass. You might get a bigger ass out of a black woman, but I've seen some thick asses from a white woman, and trust me, I didn't have to tear that shit up. Ain't got shit to do with it. Ass is ass. Women is women. But you can't sit around here and make a woman be something that you're seeking when you don't even know what the fuck you're looking for.
Well,
people get confused with love than lust.
yeah, that's what most people are on these days.
People get stuck. They get stuck in that shit.
They in that lust, and they can't move past it because they don't want to be tied down.
You're right.
I don't know what is in the atmosphere with these people in this day and age is that more people don't want to be in relationships. They want to they just truly want to be single because they've had so many, either it's been bad relationships in the past or it's, they've had something, traumatic happen to them or what have you. And they haven't healed from any of that. So then they go into trying to be in a relationship and they have a hard time they really have a hard time because after the traumatic events and what happened in their past, they don't want to commit to love. They don't want to commit to one woman. They just want to continue on testing the waters here, there, and everywhere. Well, you keep testing them waters here, there, and everywhere, you're going to pop up with some STDs and some other things that you ain't going to be able to give back.
Right.
Or get rid of.
Right.
I'm just saying. And you going to be on child support for the next 18 years. Because your silly behind won't be out there testing them waters.
Right. And I like what Lisa said in the comments. So I'm bringing this up in the podcast because she brings up a good point. She was like, they mixed up because they both starting with an L. They don't want to commit. And then the last thing she said is they don't want to own their own shit in that bad relationship. Take the time and heal. Take the time to heal themselves before they jump into another relationship. Exactly. Because a lot of times that's what happens with insecure people.
And a lot of times that's what happens with a lot of people. Period.
Very true.
Is that they've broken up from a long-term relationship or it may have not have been very long.
Right.
Some people consider 6 months, 9 months, a year a long-term relationship.
True.
Others, it's years, 10, 15, 20, and they're splitting up, and then within months they're moving into another relationship, and it's like, well, damn, how the hell do you do that?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And you're right. And some people just, after being in a relationship for a long period of time, a lot of people will say, how the hell are you getting in this relationship? How the hell are you getting in this relationship? I just had this conversation with someone and I told them, I was like, and I'm not going to tell you his business, but I'm just going to tell him that it's okay for you to move on. Right. Fuck what everybody else think about you. It's on your term. But there's some people that will have a loss in their life and they never move on. That's fine.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Both people were in love. The other difference is that person doesn't want to go in that direction to find somebody else because they found that somebody else. So guess what? They're not going to look for somebody else. They're not going to even entertain somebody else. They're just going to be by themselves.
Enjoying their life.
Now, there's other people, has nothing to do with age.
Right.
Will have somebody that just compliments them, respects the fact that they lost someone, and it's not taking anything away from them.
Right.
But at the same time, it's just like, I'm going to give you what you want because you want to be with me, whatever, and blah, 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 blah. And I guess for me, I'm like this. I'm at a point in my life right now with the person that I'm with. If something was to happen to her, God forbid, I'm not going to be with anybody else. Because that was the person I was supposed to be with. Everybody can get mad at me if I was ever in a relationship with you. But if I was meant to be with you, I would still be with you.
And it's funny how people think that all those years ago when we met and became friends, everybody, years later and whatnot, thought that you and I were in a relationship when all we were was friends.
No, they thought we was really like doing something.
We were friends, period.
And that's all we were. Like,
let the universe know
we
were friends and never crossed the line.
We never did that.
Period.
That was that was never something that we actually had a friendship that never stepped the boundaries or a line.
Never crossed
of relationship, of sexual, anything. It was never like that.
Nope.
It was always for me, I can only speak for me. When I came and saw you, I'm like, how's your boys?
Yep.
And I'm like, how's your husband doing? I saw him a couple days ago and he being funny with me, like he don't know who I am. And it's like, I can't expect him to know who I was until I told him who I was. And then we became friends.
Right.
And
when you came back from deployment, you came to see us.
Yeah, I came to see y'all when I came off of deployment. Okay, so long story short story between me and Connie. I had came off deployment and Connie told me that we were
living in Washington.
They were living in Washington.
And wasn't far away from where you were.
And they weren't far. Yeah, exactly. They weren't far from where I was from. So my last duty station before I retired, I actually went to go see Connie and her husband.
At the time. And spent time with them and... Shoot, we cooked big old meal.
I mean, fat ass meal. I mean, my son was like 7, 8, 9 years old.
CJ was 10.
He was 10.
No, he wasn't 10 yet. He was going to be 10.
He was going to be 10.
Yep.
He was going to be 10 because Kai was still 9. And I remember that because it was 9. And then she was like, when did he turn 10? And I was like, he turns 10 in June. And she was like, oh, shit. Like, it was like not that long. Mm-hmm. So anyway, long story short, me and Connie had left and went to the sub bay. We went to Banger to get cigarettes.
Oh yeah, because we had to go to the package store.
Because we had to go to the package store and get alcohol. And I was worried because I had to get on the ferry to head back to Oak Harbor, but that was all good because it was a straight shot. So literally, that was not true because I had to take my son back to Everett. Mm-hmm. That's what it was. I had to take my son back to Everett, and then I had to go back to Oak Harbor. So I was all kinds of fucked up. Anyway, small story. So before that, I had to get my son to Everett, so I had to take a ferry to get to Everett. And then from Everett, I had to go to Oak Harbor, which was another ferry.
That's a ride in itself.
Which was a ride in itself. So I was drunk, and by the time I got back to Oak Harbor, I was sober. That's how long the travel was. So anyway.
No, I don't think you were drunk.
I wasn't.
I mean, you had a couple drinks or whatever.
I was
had
good.
Dinner. We enjoyed the conversation, the time that we had. The kids enjoyed hanging out, playing basketball, hooping, all that mess.
Right.
I mean,
we was chilling.
We were. And catching up because we hadn't seen each other in the physical since 2004.
2004.
So there was like a 6-year gap.
Yep.
From when we saw each other the last time.
So then I left and ended up retiring.
Yep, went about your biz.
And moved to Maryland, moved to Florida, moved to Ohio. And I was like checking Facebook. I was like, who the fuck's in Washington? And I was like, Connie's in Washington. I know she's in Washington because she told me she was working at sub base. So I was like, maybe I can ask her because she probably would know about Washington State. What would be some good areas? So I messaged. So this was the time in 2017 where, and I'm saying this on the podcast because this is the truth. I was in a situation, didn't have my son. My son actually flew down a month after I got to Ohio in May. And I saw what was going on with him, and immediately military kicked in. Not to mention personal. I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. So, July was coming around. And I was like, okay, I got to figure this shit out. Like, really figure this shit out. I was like, okay, let me call Connie. We ain't talked in a couple years, so let me talk to her and see what's up. I was like, hey, I need to really find a place in Washington.
But the funny thing is that you didn't know I was divorced and lived on my own at that point. You had no idea.
No, I didn't. Because the first question I asked you was like, yo, I know you live in Washington. What is like...
What's the housing market?
What's the housing market like? What is like... How is, you know, if I was to get an apartment, how much is it going to cost? You know, can you do me a favor and do some looking for me? Because I need to come back to Washington because my son's mom lives there and I need to bring him back so he can have a relationship with her. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how that conversation
went the first day. The second day was probably her like, okay. Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
I know exactly where you can live at in this ass. So she actually told me, she was like, no, won't you just come and stay with me? I live in Port Orchard, just bought a house, and
I have 3 bedrooms.
I have 3 bedrooms. I think it would be perfect. You know, you would have a room, and your son would have a room. It's okay, and you can pay me rent or whatever. We could talk about it. I was like, yeah, you're right. We could. Yeah, that's what's up. So blah blah blah. My own conversation over with, and me and my son drive from Ohio, and I leave my ex-wife because I was planning to do it anyway because she didn't want to be with me. She was talking to other dudes. Didn't even fucking matter. We left and went to Washington State. So in 2017, in August, we get to Washington State. And up until we left, everything was like chilling. Like, my best friend, I'm going to be chilling. We can talk. Find out what's going on. I could tell her what's going on with me, and like we can have a drink. And I'm like, yo, I need to figure out what the fuck's going on. I need to like get my own apartment. Blah blah blah. No, that conversation never happened. The conversation that actually happened, which was like a week before, actually no, it was like 3 days before I left, was like, so what happened? What's going on? And I was like, I'll tell you like when I get on the road, because right now is not the time, and I just need to get my son out of here. I ain't worried about me so much. I just need to get my son out of here, and I need to get to Washington State because that's where he needs to be. And I'm okay with living there. And as soon as my plan went into action, because I had to have a plan, and I told my son the plan. He knew the plan. He executed the plan. The plan went into focus and was okay. Why? Because didn't nobody have a vehicle. Nobody had a vehicle but me. I was able to escape the bullshit ass relationship that I was in and actually go to the damn storage area where all my shit was and take a fucking nap for 2 hours. And then when I woke up, I was able to get all the shit that I could fit in the fucking truck and leave. That's when I called Connie. It's like, look, I escaped jail, nigga. I escaped the bullshit relationship that I was in with somebody that didn't want to be with me. Regardless of what the fuck they thought my dick size was, it didn't fucking matter. I don't give a fuck, bitch. You can think my shit was 12 inches. I don't give a fuck. You was talking to another nigga. Be with him. And it was me learning about what Connie has been through at that time. Now it's a different conversation. We'll do a podcast about that because it's I think a process that she's still going through. Not so much now, She was going through it then, but not so much now. And we'll talk about that.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, it is. So anyway, what I'm going to talk to y'all about tonight, the confirmation you are seeking is your own. Ain't nobody else's. It's your own. The problem is this. They dry hating. They dry hating. Remember that. I had about 3 years ago did a radio show, if you will. It was called the 930 Boys. Actually, it was 4 years ago. And this was during the time I was actually trying to come out of my fucking, I was really trying to come out of not understanding why I was not being sociable anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, And Connie didn't know. I didn't tell her.
No, I didn't. At that point, I didn't really understand what was going on with you.
Because you was getting dick every night. You didn't give a fuck. You was just like happy. You was just like, this motherfucker understands me. He is making me orgasm every night. I don't give a fuck.
It wasn't that, Cedric, and you know it.
What the fuck? Are you serious?
Anywho.
I was beating the meat. I was tearing that ass up. You had the window open and the neighbors had to tell you to close that motherfucker because we know that nigga's name. I was tearing that ass up. Anyway, it wasn't that. It really wasn't that. I was just bullshitting. It wasn't that. And I'm sorry, y'all. It wasn't that. It was just, I think, kind of me understanding what she'd been through.
But it was you understanding what you was going through too.
But I already knew what I was going through. And that's what I told you. I was like, I'm not good for a relationship because of the shit that I've been through in this bullshit ass relationship. I needed to divorce her. And it was like trying to deal with you was more important when it came to me. Because for me, I knew what I needed to do. I knew what the fuck she was doing. I didn't give a fuck. I just needed to divorce her. I knew she was going to be with somebody else. I didn't give a shit. Because really, if you was truly in love with somebody, you would fight to be with that person. Trust me, she wasn't fighting to be with me. She was only arguing with me for 2 weeks. After that, I ain't hear from her. You didn't hear from her. We ain't heard from her. After the 2 weeks, there was no conversation. Nobody was talking to her. She was already messing with the dude she was going to be with. And guess what? She's still with the dude. I don't care. That's who you were supposed to be with. Bye. Bye, dummy. You didn't want to be with me? Trust me, I know I wasn't your type. I'm not a big nigga.
So what about this talk show podcast thing, whatever you want to call it, that you was doing?
What you mean?
You had brought it up when you had said, you start a podcast or talk show or whatever back then when you, like 4 years ago, you was...
Yeah, so check it. Me and you get together.
Right.
And I do this 930 boy shit.
That's when the evening orgasm evolved.
That's when the evening orgasm just had a baby.
Yep.
Evening orgasm is actually going to come back.
That podcast or development of itself took place.
Right. Because that's going to happen. We're going to have an evening orgasm. We're going to have the adult conversation that needs to happen. That's gonna happen. That even the orgasm conversation is gonna happen. So anyway, I was doing the even the orgasm on Facebook, and I was doing that shit every day.
Oh my God, every single day.
And I was loving doing that shit because it was liberating. This is the problem. I was doing that shit because of somebody else's motivation to do something. I wasn't doing it for me.
Yeah.
The confirmation you're seeking is your own. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Because if I known that, I would have never done that shit with that dude. I would have never partnered up with him. I would have never done what I did.
Damn.
I would have figured it out on my own. But because of him, I made some great people.
Yeah, we did. We met a lot of
So I can't
people.
say that it was bad for me to meet him. Because it really wasn't.
Yeah.
Because I've known him since high school.
Right.
Anyway. Nigga.
But through doing that broadcast or whatever, we really did meet a lot of good people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some.
And believe it or not, I'll say this. I think he's a good person when he ain't thinking with his dick.
Mm. And some people, we're still good friends with.
Oh yeah, most definitely, most deaf.
It's and some have just melted into becoming family. So there's
right.
that.
And I say this to say I'll say this to say this. I did a Facebook post that said people get mad when you stop talking to them, but when they don't even support you or like your shit or share it, it's like, I don't need you for confirmation.
True.
I never did.
Yep.
And people will sit there and just try to think that they actually need you for confirmation. And they won't tell you that. They'll just silently hold that within themselves. But in reality, you don't need them for conversation. You need yourself for conversation, for confirmation.
Yeah.
You don't need them. But the one thing that I really kind of put everything into perspective was the fact that, they ain't doing nothing anyway. Like, they never was doing anything. But the one thing they are doing is that they ain't doing nothing but always saying. They ain't doing nothing but always saying, I see you. And the one thing that I always say back is, I see you hating. I see you hating. I see you hating on my progress. I see you hating on the fact that on the level that I'm on, I'm doing better things. I see you hating on that. But you know what? They will always deflect that shit and always say, come up with a lie or come up with some bullshit, whatever. And that's the sad part.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's gotten to the point where it's comfortable for me to say. It's comfortable for me to say this. I have a lot of love for people that actually respect who they are. And the people that don't know who they are, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. It really is. It's like a bad hair weave. You know it's fucked up, but you don't want to tell them because you know they know it's fucked up. You know they know it's fucked up. You know they know it is. It's that disaster line. Yeah, I'm triggered. I really am. It's a red alert because they know it's fucked up. They really know it's fucked up. They know it's fucked up, but you know what? They won't do anything to change the goddamn thing about it. You know why? Because they feel that that person is going to take them away from the bullshit that they put themselves into. No. I am not going to take you out of the bullshit you put yourself into. No, I'm not. You eat ass with a baby spoon. Like, can I do it? Just saying. As I drop the little nigga down, you eat ass with a baby spoon.
You eat ass with a baby spoon.
There is no way you can sit here and try to make a conversation out of something that makes absolutely no sense. You know that you fucked up. But you're not even trying to make it seem like it's a bad situation. How are you going to make it not look like a bad situation when you fucked up? Oh, you trying to hide it. Oh. Anyway. They don't want to own their own ship in a bad relationship. Take the time to heal themselves before they jump into another relationship. Exactly. And they don't want to blame you. It's your fault. No, it's not. You're an asshole. You know you didn't do anything to heal yourself. So you're going to blame me because of what you choose not to do. So
you got anything else you wanna say?
No. You know why? Because you're right. I'm glad you said that. No, because at the end of the day, it is pointless. It really is. It's pointless. It's common sense to me. Yeah. But see, it's not common sense to the other people because they want to continue to feel, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Benefited? Validated. There you go. Damn. Holy shit. So what you got, baby?
The only thing I got is I want to say thank you all to our listeners. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Hit us up. Hit us up if you want a specific topic to be discussed on air. Bring it up to us. Hit us up on the That's What I Said on Facebook and leave us a message. We'll get back to you. You can hit me up personally. You got to do a lot of
That's
search.
What He Said with Cedric D. Sanders.
Search for Cedric D. Sanders. Hit him up. Let us know what you want to talk about. We're here for it all day.
That's real.
Peace.
That's real. And right now, I'm wasted. I'm done. At the end of the day, we did what we needed to do for the podcast. So on behalf of my wife, my beautiful wife, Connie Hunter Sanders, I'm your boy, Cedric D. Sanders. That's what I said. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the conversation. Hey, if y'all have a topic or y'all just want to have a conversation on the podcast, and it could be an hour, 2 hours, it don't matter, because we're about an hour and 15, 18 minutes right now, 19 minutes into the podcast. We can do that. We can figure it out. We can talk about it, and we can get it together. On behalf of my wife, Miss Connie Hunter Sanders, my love of my life, peace and love to y'all. It's a Saturday night. Do what y'all need to do for yourself, and don't worry about anybody else, because at the end of the day, people are dry hating on you. This is what dry hating is. They don't want to see you successful. So they will do anything they can to make sure you're not successful mentally. But when it comes to everything else, they're going to make sure they dry hate and tell everybody that you ain't shit. That's what dry hating is. Hating, you already know what hating is. Hating is what it is. People going to do this shit on social media and everywhere else to go. Do what you need to do for yourself. Stop worrying about what everybody else think about you. Because at the end of the day, the confirmation that you are seeking is your own. It's your own. You know that you could do anything that you put your mind to. Why are you waiting on somebody else to tell you that? Peace and love. We out.
That's what he said with Cedric D. Sanders.
100% real, raw, and uncut. Deadass.